The American League MVP race is down to 3 clear frontrunners, and I think you saw who they were in the thumbnail of the video. Yordan Alvarez, who I think is the best hitter in baseball, Aaron Judge, who's hitting home runs on every other pitch, and then Shohei Ohtani, clearly my favorite player in baseball. So obviously I'm biased, but I do want to give the other two a chance, so let's go ahead and look at the numbers and figure out who deserves the MVP the most by the numbers. What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB video, and today we're going to be doing another deep dive on the American League MVP race. Before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like to help it reach more baseball fans, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily MLB content and live MLB watch parties. Also, shout out to Thrive Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Check them out at the link in my description. If you make your first deposit of $10 or more, you'll get up to $60 in free bets. $100 gets you $180 in free bets. It is a pretty damn good deal if I do say so myself. So get out there, bet some player props and daily fantasy contests. And without further ado, let's get into the video and check out the American League MVP race. Okay, so we are here on Fangraphs.com, and I have made a custom leaderboard of the 3 MVP candidates offensively, which you can see here. Now, as you can see, obviously it is very, very close between Yordan Alvarez and Aaron Judge when it comes to certain categories. Ohtani is a little bit below them on the offensive tier, but we all know why Ohtani is still an MVP candidate. So first off, let's go ahead and just talk about it. Wins above replacement. Now, wins above replacement is a stat to determine value. So Aaron Judge leads it. He leads all of baseball in wins above replacement, which is kind of interesting. Now, does leading baseball in wins above replacement guarantee you the MVP? Does it make you a front runner of the MVP? Does it even have any sort of relevancy to winning the MVP? Well, the short answer is no. So right now you can see Aaron Judge is leading in wins above replacement, but if we go back to 2021, Shohei Ohtani did lead the league in WAR and he won MVP. But if you go to the National League Award winner, Bryce Harper isn't even top 5 in the National League. He's the 6th highest in WAR in the National League, and he won the MVP. 2020, we saw Jose Abreu win the MVP in the American League, and he wasn't even top 5 in wins above replacement. And then we also saw Freddie Freeman, who was 3rd in wins above replacement, win the MVP as well. Now, there are years where the league leaders in wins above replacement both win their respective MVPs. Like here in 2019, you could see Mike Trout led the American League, and Cody Bellinger led the National League, and they won their MVPs. But as a whole, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you the MVP just because you lead the league in wins above replacement. Okay, so we already talked about wins above replacement. Defensively, you can look at the numbers here. Aaron Judge has 1.0 defensive WAR. Yordan Alvarez has negative 5.3. Ohtani has negative 10.8, which is kind of interesting because on the pitcher's mound, I don't really know how much defense really plays a part unless you're making extremely bad throws to first base. So I don't know. Defense is a really tough thing to measure for me, so I don't take too much into account. I do know Aaron Judge is very good defensively. I do know Yordan Alvarez is very bad defensively. I'll be honest, I've never seen Ohtani make an error, so I don't know. I'll take that with a grain of salt, man. I really don't know. And then offensively, Aaron Judge is actually, according to this, has been a little bit more valuable, even though he doesn't have as good of stats as Yordan Alvarez. And now we'll see what I'm talking about in just a second here. You can see Yordan Alvarez has the higher WRC+, which is a park-adjusted stat that measures power and just overall how good of a hitter you are. He actually leads all of baseball in it at 197. He has a higher expected weighted on-base average. He has a higher weighted on-base average, albeit by only 0.01. He's close in slugging percentage, but Aaron Judge, with all his home runs, obviously is going to have the higher one there. He has a much higher on-base percentage. He has a higher walk rate. He has a lower strikeout rate. And then when it comes to counting stats, he does not have as many RBIs, runs scored, or home runs. So, in my opinion, I think Yordan Alvarez is the better hitter. Aaron Judge has the better counting stats, which I think a lot of the MLB writers really like to see. Obviously, you can't argue with 43 home runs. That is absolutely impressive. Any other year, that's probably a lock to win the MVP. And then, of course, we have to talk about the fact that Yordan Alvarez does not play in the field. So this is where the interesting argument comes in, because you can clearly see Shohei Ohtani is nowhere near these guys and would not be an MVP candidate if it weren't for the fact that he was a pitcher. You can see he's still a good hitter, don't get me wrong. Above average, 138 WRC+, 508 slugging, that is very good. 352 on base is pretty good. 258 batting average is pretty good. Does strike out a lot. He strikes out slightly less than Aaron Judge, though, so he doesn't strike out as much as Judge, and he does walk a little bit less than the other two guys. However, he does lead the league in intentional walk, which is kind of interesting because you can actually see, like, even though he doesn't have as impressive hitting stats as Aaron Judge and Yordan Alvarez, Aaron Judge and Yordan Alvarez are on two of the best teams in baseball, while Shohei Ohtani is on quite possibly the worst team in all of baseball. So you can see Ohtani, despite being the lesser hitter, has had 10 intentional walks, which means they very rarely throw him strikes, and most of the time are free to just put him on base regardless of the situation. A lot of times, it might just be helpful for them to walk him, even if, like, you know, if there's runners on second and third, put him on, get a force out. Even if the bases are loaded, it might be more helpful to walk in one run and pitch to whoever's batting behind him, whether it be Luis Rengifo, Phil Gosselin, Joe Adell, back in the day, Brandon Marsh, Jared Walsh, who hit his first home run in over a month and a half yesterday. And then in the same amount of games, Aaron Judge has struck out 116 times, Ohtani struck out 99, and then Yordan Alvarez in 10 less games only struck out 70 times, which is very impressive for a guy who's putting up the power numbers. This is why I think Yordan Alvarez is the best hitter in all of baseball. He just got great bat control, he hits for power, he hits for average, he just does everything very, very well. And one more small thing to keep into consideration is the stolen base totals. Aaron Judge has 10, Shohei Ohtani has 11, Yordan Alvarez has 1, which I'm honestly kind of surprised he even has 1. He's not really the fastest guy, but some people like to take into account stolen bases. It could be a good tiebreaker at the end, so we'll just throw that out there. All right, now let's compare their pitching Huh. There's only... Am I missing something? Only one of them... Only one of them has thrown 105 innings pitched. Only one of them has 13 strikeouts per 9. Only one of them has 2 walks per 9. Only one of them has a 2.83 ERA. Only one of them has a 2.42 FIP. And only one of them has 3.4 wins above replacement as a pitcher. Well, I guess since there's nothing to compare it to, Ohtani wins in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll give him 8 categories there that he wins in. Well, I guess since we can't compare him to Yordan Alvarez or Aaron Judge, let's compare him to the rest of the American League pitchers, since this is an American League only award. Okay, so among American League starters with at least 100 innings pitched, Shohei Ohtani is currently 8th in earned run average, 2nd in fielding independent pitching, 1st in strikeouts per 9, 7th in left on base percentage, meaning when he lets a runner on base, they only score 20% of the time, and he's 12th in walks per 9. So he's striking batters out at an elite rate, he is walking batters hardly ever, he is leaving people on base at an elite rate. He's got a very solid ERA. He has an amazing FIP. He has the 2nd best FIP in the American League. And we talked about wins above replacement earlier. Some people like to talk about it. He's 3rd in wins above replacement when it comes to American League pitchers. So just to recap, my thing is here, Yordan Alvarez beats Aaron Judge in a lot of the underlying stats. So like WRC plus, on base percentage, everything except for slugging percentage, basically. Aaron Judge beats Yordan Alvarez in all the counting stats, like home runs, RBIs, and runs. And then while Shohei Ohtani isn't really competitive with those two there, he has an entire piece of the puzzle that neither one of those two players do, and he's elite at it. We're talking a top 5-10 pitcher in the American League who is also hitting at a well above average level. So if you're an Aaron Judge for MVP guy, I can't blame you. 43 home runs by August 5th is damn impressive. It is damn impressive. I'm not trying to discount Aaron Judge. I love Aaron Judge. I also love Yordan Alvarez. Those are two of the most fun players to watch in all of baseball and just really good professional hitters. But if you're going to discount Yordan Alvarez because he's a DH, then you have to discount Aaron Judge because he's not a pitcher. You can't have it both ways. You can't, like, if you think Aaron Judge deserves the MVP over Shohei Ohtani, then you have to give Yordan Alvarez more credit and say he has a chance against Aaron Judge, because even though he doesn't have as many home runs, he is hitting and getting on base and having better at-bats than Aaron Judge at a very clear rate. So obviously, I am biased. I'm literally wearing a Shohei Ohtani shirt. But I hope this video gave you guys an insight as to why I think Shohei Ohtani is the MVP and should be unanimous again. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball and a very well above average hitter in one of the worst lineups in all of baseball. And if I see a single comment about team success, I'm gonna literally, like, puke, bro. It is the MVP. It is not the best player on a playoff team. If it's a best player on a playoff team award, give it to Aaron Judge. Absolutely. By all means. If it's best player on a playoff team, give it to Aaron Judge. It is not best player on the playoff team. It is the most valuable player. If you're a Yankees fan and you can tell me you would not prefer a guy who is pitching better than Garrett Cole and is hitting better than Giancarlo Stanton, go. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you anymore. Shohei Ohtani is still doing stuff that we've never seen before in our lives, and while Aaron Judge is hitting a lot of home runs, and I gotta give him respect, I gotta tip the cap there, he might win the Hank Aaron Award. It's going to be close between him and Yordan Alvarez. But as far as the MVP goes, I don't know what it would take, honestly. It might take 70 home runs for me for Aaron Judge to pass Ohtani, or Ohtani like kind of falling off a little bit. If Ohtani starts having some bad starts, that ERA gets north of 3.5, and his bat just goes cold like it did in the last second half, we'll see. There could be a chance. I definitely think Aaron Judge could sneak in there. But right now, Shohei Ohtani, 24 home runs with the highest strikeouts per 9 in all of baseball. I just don't understand, man. He is so good. He is doing stuff we've never seen before. It's got to be Shohei right now, Aaron Judge a close second, and Yordan Alvarez third, even though I think Yordan's the better hitter. So that is going to do it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I love talking baseball with you guys, whether or not you agree with me. Leave a like on the video, help it reach more baseball fans, and subscribe for more daily MLB content. Come to one of our live streams if you want to talk with me live about this concept. Maybe we'll do a whole live stream where we just sit here and talk the MVP discussion, because it's a very interesting one of the most interesting topics in baseball. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. See y'all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.